Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to bring to you my biggest takeaways from the Higher Self Gala, which was a 2-day conference, plus a gala that we got to attend. And it was hosted by my friend, inspiration, Christine Monroe. I recently had her on the podcast. So you guys got to listen to her and feel her and just feel her heart and how open she is and how much she genuinely just wants every woman out there, every human out there to live in her purpose. But I got to experience her and some other really powerful guest speakers in person. So hold on, let me plug my laptop in. Now that's gonna die. So let's do this. And it was such an incredible event. So just some backstory. Back in, let's see, it was July. Back in July, I had this really edgy vision of me speaking on stages. And it didn't make any sense at the time because I didn't consider myself a speaker. I obviously love to podcast. I love to coach virtually. I love to host master classes, but I didn't think that speaking on stage in person was in the cards for me based off of my history with public speaking. And I think I should save that for an entirely different episode. But when I made the decision to say yes to that vision and that edge, everything started to align. I got asked to be a speaker at Brittany Barcelo's Lead Her Summit, which if you guys weren't at, it was incredible. It was virtual. And then just after speaking there, I think she vibed with me a lot and wanted me to speak at her in-person event on 11/11 called Revolutionary. It was during that time that I got introduced to Christine because Brittany is such a community builder that she connected Christine and I went to one of the happy hours with Business Bosses Who Brunch, which is a incredible community up in Denver that Christine is building. I went to one of the happy hours to just meet some new people. And then Christine heard me speak at Brittany's event. And she came up to me after and she said, "Hey, would you be down to be on a panel of speakers at my event at the Higher Self Gala?" And of course I was like, yes, like there is a reason I'm getting presented opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. So I said yes. And I didn't really know anything of what to expect. And then a week before the gala, I saw who I was going to be on a panel with, and my mind was blown. I was so honored that my mission and my message and my voice and the way I deliver felt like it was on the same page with these women who are really big. And so one of the biggest takeaways that I had was more of a personal thing of just like anchoring into the fact that like I'm on that level. It's like, yeah, I know maybe financially I'm on that level. I know, I mean, as far as a following, I'm not on that level. Like they have way bigger audiences than me. But it takes some time for your identity to catch up with who you've become, because there's still moments where you think about where you are from and you're like, me? I'm on that stage. I'm on that panel with those women. It was really incredible. And I had to really take a moment to feel like I belong there, to feel like, yeah, I'm definitely meant to be on the stage. And it actually didn't hit me that I was meant to be on that stage until I was there speaking and seeing the reaction of the audience and hearing the feedback. Like I was like, oh my God, like I get it now. I get why I had that vision. I get why I decided to say yes to these opportunities without really knowing anything or what to expect. Like I get it now. And so one of my biggest takeaways was more of just like a embodiment, like a anchoring into an identity of my higher self, and like the next edge for me, the next evolution for me. It was so incredible to just actually see myself and feel myself in real time, anchor into being that woman. Okay. Which leads me to one of my other takeaways, which was one of the workshop host speakers. Hey Taylor, yay! Oh my God, so good to see you. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. We should connect and catch up in the DMs soon. So one of the other big takeaways, was one of the speakers, Lisa, and I'm gonna totally botch her last name, but it's something like Bucker or something like that. She was so incredible, so powerful. She's a mother of 4, and she was talking all about confidence and activating your confidence. And one of the things that she had us do was flip the switch on our what if. So for example, the what if could be like, what if I fail? Or what if I'm not good enough? Or what if this big dream that I have isn't going to come to life, right? And we have to flip the script and write something that's actually of service to us and that empowers us in being more confident. So I wrote down, I'm just going to share vulnerably. I wrote down that, what if I'm not that woman? And this is again before I got on stage too. This is before I spoke. I felt that this fear of like, what if I'm not that woman? Have you guys ever felt that? Like, what if I'm not her? What if I'm not all I'm choosing to be and all I'm cracked out to be? Like, what if I'm not shining as bright as I possibly can? What if I'm not as powerful and magnetic as people tell me? Like, what if I'm not her? And I decided to flip the script, and we literally took a paper, flipped it over, and wrote on the back what we're choosing instead. And I wrote down, what if I already am? What if I already am that woman? And so I want to share that with all of you, because that was such a powerful practice that Lisa guided us through, to really just like stop focusing on the fear and instead like utilize that fear to fuel us forward and feel more like empowered. Because like it doesn't take away the fact that the fear is there, but it's just not giving it our power. It's like, I'm still in control here. So whoever needs that practice, if whatever your what if fear is, flip the script, switch it up. Such an incredible practice. So that was a really great breakthrough for me, just to realize I already am her. I already am. There's nothing more I have to do or be. Like, I am her. And then to get on stage after that practice and to actually like become her fully on like integrate her on an even deeper level was really, really, really incredible. One of the other really big breakthroughs that I had was facilitated by our keynote speaker, Lindsay Schwartz. And Lindsay is an incredible speaker. And I actually had this moment of seeing like the reflection of me and her and like what's possible. It was really cool. But one of the biggest takeaways that I had from her speech was around feeling like an imposter, right? Like we've all felt that imposter syndrome, right? We all felt like, do I belong in this room? Do I belong on this stage? Who am I to be sitting next to these women, right? And that was really alive for me before I got on stage. I felt like a big imposter. I was like, oh my God, they have way bigger audiences than me. They've done way bigger speaking events than me. Like, who am I to be sitting on this stage right now? And when Lindsay spoke about that imposter syndrome, she said, and I will carry this with me forever. I will tell my clients I will tell them all of this, because this is like gold. If you're not feeling like an imposter, you're not playing big enough. Isn't that so powerful? to be like, oh, I'm actually supposed to be feeling like that imposter, because it's a sign that I'm stepping into rooms that expand me versus rooms that keep you small or keep you in your comfort zone. Right? Like, step into the rooms where you are inspired. Like, it's okay to be the quote unquote smallest or beginner in the room, because it just shows that you are ready to level up. It shows that you are ready to not know everything, but still pull up a seat because you're ready to learn. And that was another one of my biggest takeaways too, was just the reminder of the importance of being a beginner and being a student. Because as I first walked into that room, I have this quote that I always tell myself. It's like, walk into rooms like God sent you there, right? And I did that. But what happened was I forgot to be a student. This entire year, my investments, my focus has been really stepping into my leadership and not really being a student much this year. Like, 2022 has been a year of integration for me more than anything, and scaling. And my investments was towards building my team. So I hadn't like put my student hat on in quite a while, it felt like. So when the conference first started, I kind of felt this like, oh, like I'm not here to learn, right? I'm here to teach, because I was on the panel. And as the woman who were getting on stage and speaking and hosting these workshops, I had this big realization that I was closing myself off from information, because I thought that there's nothing new that I can learn here. Right? I don't know if any of you guys, I'm just keeping it real with you. Like, this is like real what happened while I was there. And then after I had that realization, I kind of like put my ego aside and was like, Sarah, like every single person in this room has something to teach you. Every single person. And so I share this with you so that you can remember too, that you do not have to know it all. And even if you think you know a lot, still stay open to new information, still stay a forever student and a learner. Because like I just said, every person in that room has something to teach you, something to offer you. So don't forget to take yourself off a pedestal that you might be putting yourself on, and like really walk into rooms like God sent you there, but being humble about it. Still knowing that you got something to learn and there's still space to grow. So that was a really incredible breakthrough for me that happened again in real time. All right, so another one facilitated by Christine herself was actually, you know what? I'm going to save that one for last. Because it goes hand in hand with the announcement that I have for you guys. So let's see. Another one of the breakthroughs that I had was that no matter what level you are at, because I was in a room and every single person was at a different level. You had people who were just starting out. You had people who had seven-figure and multiple seven-figure businesses. You had people who were everywhere in between. We were walking different walks, but all of the walks that we had were so similar, so aligned. And it was such a beautiful reminder and permission slip to let yourself be where you're at, and not to compare yourself to anyone at a different level, because like they walked that walk too. And they're experiencing something different at the level that they're at. Like the fear, the imposter, the worry, the doubt, the stress, like that stuff never really goes away. It's never just like totally gone out of your life and business. And it was just reassuring to hear that from every single person at every single level, and it just speaks to the power of community. You were not meant to do this alone. You were not meant to build your business alone. You weren't meant to step into your power alone. You weren't meant to remember your worth alone. You weren't meant to become the wealthiest version of yourself alone. You're not meant to do it alone. And like community amplifies it all. Isolation will, I don't know a better way to say it, but isolation in this process will slow everything down for you, and is the quickest way to giving up, is if you're doing it alone. And being in that room, I was reminded of that from every single woman, right? We all have hardship and adversity and challenges and obstacles that we're facing. No one is an exception to that. And I just think that that is such a important thing for me to remind you of, because I think that it's really easy to look online on social media and feel like everyone but you has it figured out. And I just want you to know that that's not true. All of us are working through our own shit, right? We're facing our own demons and fighting our own battles. However, when you do that in community, you can actually get through it. You can actually move through it. You have someone to call and say, hey, I think I want to give up everything and burn it all down. Please, like, tell me what I need to hear, you know? Without that, I can honestly say that I would not be where I'm at in my business right now. And I know that every other woman who is on the higher scale of financially more abundant businesses as well will say the same damn thing. They did say the same thing. You know, like, community amplifies everything for you. So if you're not already getting into these types of rooms, please do. Which leads me to another really, really big breakthrough. I had a lot of breakthroughs, guys. I'm just going to keep like rolling them off as they come through for me. But let me sip some water first. So the other one was facilitated by one of the speakers that I was on the panel with, Keisha. She has a podcast called Empower Her. It's a massive podcast. She's got 6.5 million downloads. I just looked at her Instagram and I was like, oh my God, that's really big. But I was on a panel with her, and something that she said was to take inventory of who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, like, it really matters. It really fucking matters who you are surrounding yourself with. And if you are not surrounded by people who expand you, inspire you, support you, and celebrate you, I don't know if I already said that one, but I'm going to say it again, then you're not in the right rooms. Take inventory. Are the people you are surrounded by lifting you up, helping you become wealthier, helping you become healthier, holding space for you in a supportive and abundant way, versus a disempowered and like, yeah, it fucking sucks, like, you should just give up type of way? You know what I mean? Like, there's a big, big difference. And being immersed in rooms like I was in this past week reminded me to take inventory. Like, who am I actually surrounding myself with? What conversations am I participating in that are not actually of service to me? Who is draining my energy? Who do I need to set some boundaries with? Like, all of these things are so important. And for you who are listening, if you feel like you lack that support system, you have to be proactive. You can't just wait for it to find you. Like, go put yourself out there, find the networking events, find the one person to introduce you to another person, to introduce you to another person. Like, you've got to take initiative in your own life when it comes to getting into rooms with people who will expand you. Right? Right. Okay. The next one is, and this sounds a little like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to justify it. This next one is, I realize that I am a great speaker. I feel I don't always show it on the podcast per se, because it's just me talking to myself as if I'm talking to thousands of people. So sometimes I feel like that doesn't totally come across in the podcast. However, both times now, I have gotten on stage and I have spoken from something bigger than me. Like, it wasn't just me talking. It was like, I knew what needed to be said in that room. And what I have to say really lands with the people listening. It lands on a really soul level and it sticks with them. My messaging, how I deliver it, it sticks with the audience. It moves them. And that was the feedback that I had to uncomfortably receive because it wasn't comfortable, I'll tell you that, for me to receive all this feedback from people in the audience, from Brittany. I felt like, really? Like, no, like I was trying to like just dismiss it, but I am a great speaker and I have something important to say. And I know I'd be doing the world a disservice if I didn't keep speaking and getting on stages and bigger stages. And I'm just so excited because that's really going to be like my main focus and intention going into the new year after receiving this clarity. So that's really exciting for me. And just wanted to say that like your breakthroughs can also just happen. Your breakthroughs can be remembering how great you are, and that's enough. What else? Okay. I'm now going to give you the last one that feeds into the big announcement that I have. So pay attention. Basically, while I was at this conference, I was expanded so much by Christine and her level of detail in the entire experience for this conference. I was so impressed and I was really inspired. And it really reflected back to me where I was playing small for my conference in April 2023. I realized that I was playing small because I was scared. I never in my life thought that I'd be a person who hosted a conference. Like, that was never in the plan. When I quit my job and started this business and started it online, I never, ever thought that hosting a conference was in the cards for me. And because it's my first one, there's a lot of trial and error. And I'm so happy. Like, thank God I gave myself so much time, because let's just say behind the scenes, it has been an incredibly messy process, but I'm figuring it out along the way. And without attending this beautiful event that Christine hosted, I wouldn't have really been shown what was possible and how to facilitate like this luxurious of a conference. So with that being said, I decided to meet my edge around hosting this conference and play bigger than I was planning on playing. Super exciting, also really scary, but how boring is life without the fear? Like, how boring is life without dancing along your edge, right? Like, I'm here for the thrill. I'm so here for it. So I have decided that I am going to play bigger and deliver a much more luxurious and expansive experience for Embodied Live. And let me just say, the moment that I decided, yes, I am ready to play bigger. And the moment I committed to my higher self, the stars aligned. Everything started to become clear. I heard back from the venue that I originally wanted, who like randomly never got back to me. And then I reached back out and they were like, immediate this, the price range was good. Like, all of it was just so good. And I was like, oh, this was all supposed to happen. I get it now, right? And I also feel like that's a great reminder for you guys as well, is just like, it usually doesn't make sense until it's already happened, right? Like, usually we always understand why everything had to happen in hindsight. But what if you can just bring hindsight into your present moment and trust that everything is happening for you? Because over and over and over again, we're reminded of that. But sometimes it's so hard to remember it when we're so in the void, when we're so in that that place of why is this happening? And this is really hard. This is really scary. It's hard to remember that all of it is happening for you. And when you say yes and meet that edge, the universe is conspiring in your favor and presenting so many opportunities to show you that this is the right path, right? And that's what's happened to me within the past week, ever since saying yes to playing bigger for the conference. So, which means the conference is still on. It's still happening, April 1st and April 2nd of 2023. But we're playing bigger. And that means a lot of things are changing. The venue will be changing. The itinerary will be changing. There's just going to be a lot more included, while also making sure that the experience is intimate and powerful. I'm so excited. I am so excited, because I know that this is going to be not only just a moment in a moment in time that I will never forget, this is a monumental part of my journey, is hosting this conference. But I also know that this can be a monumental moment for you to be in this room and to receive all of the information, to receive me, to receive the speakers, to receive the workshops, to receive the knowledge, to receive the wisdom, to receive the community, right? So I'm so excited. However, with the expansion of my vision for Embodied Live, I am also going to be increasing the pricing for Embodied Live. But it's not happening yet. You have 24 hours, 48 hours. You have 48 hours today and tomorrow to buy your ticket at the insanely discounted pre-sale price right now. Tomorrow night, it's going up. So if you want to get in this room for an insanely discounted price, go to the link in my bio, or go to the link in the show notes rather, and buy your ticket today. Because I promise you that if this conversation today, if me just sharing my breakthroughs with you inspired you and taught you something, just imagine being in the actual room, feeling it and experiencing breakthroughs and transformations in real time. I cannot wait to see what happens for you when you step into this room. And I can't wait for you to connect with all of the other women who decided to say yes. This is going to be, like I said, a monumental experience. It's going to be iconic. And for those of you who want to take it even further, if you're really looking at your 2023 and you're ready to make a bold decision that's going to amplify your 2023 now, and you want to attend the conference for free and receive a photo shoot at the conference for free, then I invite you into my mastermind, Embodied Mastermind. This is going to be an all-inclusive experience, meaning you get a 5-month mastermind with me. You get access to my operations business manager to help set up the back end for your business for scaling. And you are also going to get access to working directly with a creative director and brand stylist to help make your vision and the aesthetic and the embodiment of your brand come to life, the next level of your brand, the next evolution of it. And then you get to come to Embodied Live for free, and you get a photo shoot for free while you're at Embodied Live. And I have an opportunity for you, but it's a surprise for now. For the women who are in the mastermind, I have a surprise for you at the conference. And you are going to be so blown away. And I'm really excited to be offering this opportunity. So with that, all of that being said, if you want to be inside of a room like this, and you want to get inside of a room like this at a very, very discounted price, go to the show notes and buy your ticket to Embodied Live. If you want more, if you don't just want the 2-day conference, if you want the like full experience to scaling your business in 2023, go to the show notes and apply for the Embodied Mastermind. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I'm so grateful that I've had the experience to attend this event for my own breakthroughs, but also to bring a more elevated experience to all of you in 2023. And this is just the beginning. We are just getting started. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about this episode, if you have any questions about Business Bosses Who Brunch, if you have questions about Embodied Live or the Embodied Mastermind, you know I am an open book. So just slide up in my DMs and we will have a great conversation. Thank you again. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your day.